这就是哈尔滨市啊，哈西。
This is Harbin Hashi Station subway. Hashi Station. There's basically no one here. No young people, no elderly, nobody at all. Look at this. It's terrifying. Completely empty.
你们觉得沈阳的经济好吗？给你们看一下。
Do you think the economy in Shenyang is doing well? Let me show you the security checkpoint. It's 6 p.m. and there are almost no people at the Shenyang airport security area. I came here by subway to the airport. Several stops along the way, the train cars were almost empty. No passengers. Look again at the waiting hall. Almost empty. No energy at all. I don't know about other industries, but take the legal profession as an example. Take myself personally. About 10 years ago, lawyer fees were higher than they are now. Many of our cases today simply cannot collect payment. A lot of my consulting clients are gone. They don't have money. No money to file lawsuits, no money to hire lawyers, no money for legal consulting. In the past couple of years, many lawyers' incomes has basically been cut in half.
我出差在吉林。
I'm on a business trip in Jilin, driving on the highway and national roads. Now I'm on National Highway 222. I noticed a problem. Coming from Liaoning to Jilin, the traffic on the road is nothing like it was a couple of years ago. It's far worse. This clearly shows serious population loss. You can literally see the economic situation and population issues from traffic flow alone. Northeast China is in a really bad state right now.
China's northeastern provinces, Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Liaoning, were once among the country's most important and glorious industrial bases. They were once seen as a symbol of the republic's industrialization. Steel roaring, factories everywhere, streets filled with crowds, carrying the collective memory of an industrial pride. Yet, in just a few decades, the Northeast has gradually become one of the most visibly declining regions in China. Today, the economies of these three provinces rely heavily on natural resources, heavy industry, and agriculture. The region is densely filled with so-called ghost cities. Because of long-term economic stagnation, rising unemployment, and extremely difficult living conditions, many people have been forced to leave their hometowns to seek work elsewhere.
You've
worked for 1 month, and that equals the average annual income for each person in our area. A family of 3 makes only about 20,000 to 30,000 RMB a year in total. What can you even do with that?
But isn't the cost of living in the Northeast a bit lower?
Not lower at all. When it's that poor, you don't even feel it's cheap.
So that's why a lot of people from the Northeast move away.
Miss, you probably don't even know this. In places like ours, people around 70 years old, over 60% of them survive by going through garbage bins.
Over 60% survive by digging through trash?
Yes.
Which city is that?
It's Lishu District, Jishi City, Heilongjiang Province.
Oh, so you're from Lishu District.
Yes, the Northeast used to be huge, with a large population. But now, economically speaking, if you don't leave, you basically can't survive at home. You'll starve.
That's true. The Northeast used to have a lot of industry.
That was the past. Now look at the economy in the Northeast. It's extremely depressed.
A driver from Jishi, Heilongjiang Province, worked for Didi Ride-hailing in Zhejiang. He described what he called the severe collapse of the Northeast economy. He said young people are fleeing in large numbers, otherwise they would starve. Elderly people are left without support. From his observation, over 60% of people around 70 years old survive by scavenging. He also said he himself spends only 5 RMB a day on food and sends all remaining money back home. He added that in middle age, people cannot even afford to die.
In Dalian, there are unemployed people everywhere. Bankrupt people, depressed people, anxious people, people drowning in debt, and people who cannot afford medical care. In short, this situation is very serious. I don't know if others feel the same way, but it feels especially hard to make money this year. The most obvious thing on the streets is that there are crowds of mostly middle-aged and elderly people, and young people are almost nowhere to be seen. A couple of days ago, I saw a news story about someone cutting in line, and it quickly turned into a violent fight. Are people really this irritable now? The hostility is too strong. Everyone should try to stay calm when problems happen.
在大连，工资2600。
In Dalian, the monthly wage is 2,600 RMB. That is not a base salary, it is a guaranteed minimum. If you want social insurance, it is deducted from your own pay. After talking with the boss, I found out that the total social insurance cost is about 1,300 RMB. After deductions, there's almost nothing left. It's not even enough to cover kindergarten fees for a child. I've been thinking about whether to quit. All the new hires who came with me have already resigned, and I'm the only one left. Across northeast China, airports that were once busy are now eerily quiet. Waiting halls are empty, footsteps echo clearly, flights are widely cancelled, and the remaining ones are sparse. Local residents walk with their heads down, and outside business travelers are extremely rare. Population loss is among the worst in the country. What remains are increasingly aging, empty cities. Villages are empty, county towns are empty, and even central areas in cities feel desolate. The decline in the real economy is shrinking. Commercial streets are seeing wave after wave of street closures. Rolling shutters are rusted shut, and for rent signs cover entire streets, yet there are no takers. The consumer market has frozen. In shopping malls, there are more sales staff than customers. Restaurants are constantly being transferred or shut down. Ordinary people have already downgraded consumption to the extreme. Unemployment is widespread, and unemployment rates in the Northeast have long been higher than the national average.
Shenyang is considered a new first-tier city in the Northeast, so why is it that during lunch hours shopping malls are almost empty? Where did all the people go? Even the largest city in the Northeast with the biggest population has so few people. Have most Northeasterners already been moved south?
I
went out at night to my friend's place to drink. My friend is unemployed. Is it like everyone in Harbin is out of work right now? Why is everyone looking for a job? These past couple of days, fans ranging from 20 years old to 50 years old have been asking me, do you know of any good gigs? Is it really that hard to find work in Harbin right now? My buddy wants to do something. He's thinking about driving for a ride-hauling service. I was thinking of quitting it, and now he wants to take it over from me. I really need to talk him out of it. Oh man.
95年硕士，坐标大连的妹妹。
A 1995-born master's graduate, a girl based in Dalian, is about to go through another round of forced unemployment. Her company has not paid salaries for 2 months. She has no choice but to start looking for other jobs. Last year, when a well-known consulting firm withdrew its business from Dalian, she experienced her first layoff in her life. This year, history is repeating itself. I have repeatedly advised her to go to first-tier cities to look for opportunities. I also reminded her to prepare early for her own future career, because working for others has a time limit. But she kept hesitating and refused to leave. Now she's facing unemployment again and has become depressed.
我都担心我们东北的这个大领导。
I even worry that in the future, our top leadership in the Northeast will gradually shrink, first from major leaders to county-level leaders, then from county heads to village heads, and eventually down to group leaders, because the population is getting smaller and smaller. The data from the 3 provincial capitals is all flashing red at the same time. The birth rate is the lowest in the country, the death rate is the highest, and the divorce rate remains high. In simple terms, fewer children are being born, more elderly people are passing away, and marriages are becoming like shared rides, fast to form and fast to break apart. In Heilongjiang, the 2024 birth rate is only 3.35 per 1,000, continuing to rank among the bottom nationwide. That means that out of every 1,000 people, only 3 new babies are born in a year. At the same time, the death rate has risen to the highest in the country. In Jilin province 2024, there were 102,100 marriages, while 78,000 couples divorced. This ratio is extremely rare nationwide. More importantly, people are continuously leaving. In just 1 year, the permanent population of the 3 provinces decreased by more than 800,000. Many families in the Northeast are selling houses, selling cars, and liquidating all their assets. They're moving south as entire households. This is not a temporary departure, but a complete uprooting. Blogger Liu Xiankun pointed out that continuously declining fertility is a defining feature of Northeast China's demographic situation. In 2024, the birth rates in Heilongjiang, Jilin, and Liaoning fell to between 3 and 4 babies per 1,000, respectively, ranking the bottom 3 in the country, far below the national average of 6.66 per 1,000, and even lower than Japan and South Korea, which are above 5 per 1,000. Even more striking is the outflow of young people. Data shows that from 2016 to 2025, the three northeastern provinces lost a total of 10.5 million people, equivalent to the population of Harbin disappearing. Among them, Liaoning lost 2.07 million, Jilin lost 3.1 million, and Heilongjiang lost 5.28 million. The population outflow is characterized by high education levels and whole family migration. There are not only few children and working-age population compared to the national average, but also a higher proportion of elderly people. The population outflow is not caused by a single factor. It's the result of long-term, overlapping, and mutually reinforcing contradictions. They involve economic structure, institutional mechanisms, natural conditions, culture, and talent ecosystems. The core reason for population outflow is weak economic vitality. At its root, the economic difficulty comes from a rigid industrial structure dominated by heavy industry and severe delays in transformation. During the planned economy era, the Northeast developed a heavy industry system centered on steel, coal, oil, machinery manufacturing, and defense industries. State-owned enterprises held absolute dominance. Major enterprises such as FAW Group in Changchun, Ansteel Group in Anshan, Daqing Oilfield, and Shenyang Aircraft Corporation became the pillars of their respective city economies, forming a single industry model of one company, one city. This long-standing planned economy model has gradually revealed fatal weaknesses: a rigid industrial structure, weak innovation capacity, and insufficient job creation. On one hand, traditional heavy industry has continued to shrink, and employment has fallen sharply. Over the past decade, output in Northeast traditional heavy industry has dropped by 42%. Steel, coal, and petrochemical industries suffer from serious overcapacity. Corporate profitability has declined, leading to large-scale layoffs or income reductions. Resource-based cities are particularly affected. For example, output at the Daqing oil field has fallen from a peak of 50 million tons to below 40 million tons. Extraction costs have risen year by year. Urban economic growth is weak. Per capita GDP is only 63% of the national average, while unemployment is 12 percentage points higher than the national average. Heavy industry is capital intensive and creates very few jobs per unit of investment. For example, the Harbin Electric Corporation generated 38.7 billion RMB in revenue in 2024 with only 15,000 employees, while the private company JD.com generated 1.16 trillion RMB in the same period with 900,000 employees, showing a massive gap in employment absorption. On the other hand, emerging industries have developed slowly and cannot absorb labor released from traditional sectors, nor can they attract young workers. High-tech enterprises in Northeast China account for only about 2.3% of the national total. The share of industries such as the digital economy, biomedicine, advanced manufacturing, and modern services is less than 15%, far below levels in the Yangtze River Delta and Pearl River Delta. In 2023, the three provincial capitals, Shenyang, Changchun, and Harbin, had fewer than 100 listed companies in total, about one-tenth of what Shenzhen has. Industries such as the internet, finance, and creative media, which are popular with young people, are almost absent. For example, in Heilongjiang province, from 2014 to 2018, more than 50,000 university graduates left the province for employment each year, with only 14% returning. During the same period, the retention rate for graduates in Jilin province was below 40%, indicating severe loss of highly educated talent. For a long time, state-owned enterprises have dominated the economy in the Northeast, with resources, capital, and policy support heavily tilted toward them. This has left limited space for private enterprises, restricting their development. State-owned enterprises often suffer from low efficiency, rigid management, and weak innovation incentives. Internal promotion frequently depends on seniority and personal connections rather than ability. This makes it difficult for young people to obtain fair opportunities. Private enterprises, on the other hand, have high barriers to entry, difficulties in financing, complicated approval procedures, and high hidden costs. Informal rules such as knowing the right people and relying on relationships are widely perceived as necessary for doing business. In other words, corruption in government departments is seen as severe, with practices such as bribery and rent-seeking widely reported. This significantly weakens private investment confidence and entrepreneurial vitality. The shortcomings in the business environment further accelerate talent outflow and investment loss. Local entrepreneurs are also moving south. This forms a vicious cycle of capital outflow, industrial contraction, reduced employment, and population decline. Data shows that in 2024, the private economy in the 3 northeastern provinces accounted for less than 50% of GDP. The business environment in the Northeast is widely regarded as extremely poor. For ordinary people doing business, the difficulties are everywhere: complicated approvals, collusion between officials and businesses, and an unfair market. To open a shop, one may need to go through about 10 departments for stamps, and each department requires gifts or informal payments, otherwise the process is stalled. After paying loans, wages, and rent, physical businesses often make no profit.
老板哪儿有钱啊？
Bosses don't really have money. In Shenyang, many business owners are actually in debt. Running a business is extremely difficult now. On the surface, they look polished, but in reality, their bank accounts are empty. Many bosses are effectively working for their employees. After paying wages, settling rent, and buying inventory, there's often nothing left at all. Some even lose money just to pay salaries. Paying employees is like working for them. Paying rent is like working for landlords. Repaying loans is like working for banks. So, for self-employed business owners today, only they know how hard it really is.
沈阳今年大环境真的让人难以置信。
The overall environment in Shenyang this year is truly unbelievable. About 90% of people basically cannot sleep at night. Supermarket owners can't sleep. Restaurant owners can't sleep. Even beauty salon owners probably don't sleep. I do door-to-door beauty services in Shenyang, and my consultation volume has dropped sharply this month. Competitors are even worse. They've cut prices 3 times and still get no orders. Even ride-hailing drivers, delivery workers, and designated drivers have to work overnight just to make money. At this point, which industry in Shenyang can still sleep peacefully?
昨天我的营业额，你们猜卖了多少？
Yesterday, guess how much I made in sales revenues? After standing at my stall all day, I only sold 54.8 RMB. Everything is wrapped in cover-ups. If you expose them, you become the villain. Everything is an unspoken taboo. Break it, and you're the one at fault.
Finally, on historical factors. The decline of the Northeast cannot be separated from its past. During the planned economy era, the Northeast was an industrial center and received massive national investment. But after China's reform and opening up, policy focus shifted south, and the Northeast was gradually marginalized. Combined with state-owned enterprise reforms and widespread layoffs, social tensions increased, and economic transformation became more difficult. In the 1990s, during state-owned enterprise restructuring, the Northeast experienced the largest wave of layoffs in the country. About 8 million state-owned enterprise workers lost their jobs almost overnight. This affected over 20 million people, including their families. Some entire households were laid off, leaving no basic security for livelihood. This created serious social stability challenges. These historical problems still have not been fully resolved today.